What up, everybody? You tuned in to BYNK Radio. We're in the way of another artist spotlight. Got Jae R Tha Geek, not on the phone, in the studio. We got Jae R Tha Geek. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? I'm good, man.
How you doing? How you
Chilling,
doing?
I'm good, brother.
Okay.
Good, I'm blessed.
Where you from?
I'm not from Mesquite.
Where is Mesquite for everybody who's not from the DFW area?
Yeah, I'm from DFW, Dallas, Texas, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of people like, at least on the rap scene locally, because I've been here a little while, it seems like everybody from Oak Cliff. Nobody claim anything but Oak Cliff. Oak Cliff.
Yeah.
Even when you're not from Oak Cliff, you're from Oak Cliff.
That's funny that you actually say that. That's the reason why I'm so prominent on telling people what part of town I'm from, because, man, for as long as I've been alive, people haven't been too, like, you know what I'm saying? They don't like claiming, I guess, my side of town. They want to claim, like you saying, the hoods, you know what I'm saying? Everybody acting like they from. I don't know how it is in other cities, but I'm sure it's the same way. But, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Everybody acting like they from Oak Cliff or Pleasant Grove. But I don't want to front. I mean, I could easily claim those. I got family everywhere, but
yeah,
I went to school out in Mesquite. I'm from Mesquite.
Okay. I can respect that, man.
So I keep it real, man.
Like not being afraid to be where you from and who you are.
That brought me to all my closest friends, you know what I'm saying? All my life experiences, you know what I'm saying? That's where they went down at. So
okay. So I read that you were talking to somebody and you said you've been rapping for 12 years, but you're not like 40. so when did you actually start taking rap serious?
Seriously, probably I would say like, I mean, like I've been recording in the studios and all that stuff since I was like seriously about 15. Okay. But like seriously probably about 18, 19. And I'm 25 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
What made you want to take it serious?
It was honestly just an outlet for me at first, like with a bunch of my friends, and then like just a way to, you know, get my emotions out and, you know, everything like that. And then I was spending money on it, you know what I'm saying? And I was in the studio and I was working with this guy that a friend of my dad introduced him to us. And my dad showing him my music, and we started working when I was like 17. And he put me through an artist development program, and then that was really when it just kind of clicked. I was like, dude, I could do this. You know what I'm saying? And I already, you know what I'm saying, put my money into it, or my dad did, but or helped me with it. And then by then, I was just like, dog, you know, I'm here every week, you know, doing an artist development program, coming up with new songs, and I was like, man, I was doing it for, like I said, for a few years in my room, just recording and just, you know, finding beats off SoundClick and everything like that, and just going in. But I guess I still wouldn't say I wasn't as serious because I was still hooping and, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. But about 18, like once I got out of high school, and or really my senior year probably, 17, 18, I'll say that, 17, 18.
Oh, so you play ball? Yeah,
I played ball. I played football from like 7th grade to 9th grade, and then I played basketball like my whole life, like from 6th to up to junior year in high school. And I actually I had like the doctor. I went to the doctor and I had like a little scare. I had like a little heart something. It was my blood pressure, and I got diagnosed with high blood pressure. And he told me he really didn't want me running around too much and all that stuff. And by then I was like, you know what, I'm in my room every day after school anyway recording, and so I was just like, you know, I'm gonna put my focus in the music. But like I said, it wasn't all the way serious until I was a few more years, like 2 more years after that.
So it was a high blood pressure thing. You don't mind me getting into it too deep?
No.
Like, was that like a genetic thing, or was that eating too much ramen, or like you got high sodium?
It's really, I do. It's in my family. It's hereditary.
Yeah.
So on my mom's side, like my uncle, he got diagnosed around the same age as me.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just hereditary. My mom got diagnosed kind of young, and if I'm not mistaken, I think my dad did too.
That's crazy.
So yeah, it just kind of runs in my family.
Yeah, because somebody that's active, you know, that don't, you know, if you were like a lineman or something like that, a nose tackle, and you got diagnosed high blood pressure,
and I actually
eating donuts.
I was a lineman.
Oh, okay.
Which is weird. So well, I always thought it was weird. I'm kind of
like defensive end or something like that.
Nah, yeah, I was on the O line actually.
O-line.
Yeah, right on. I was a tackle, left tackle.
Okay. Yeah, that's crazy. So did you have like a passion for sports? Were you gonna try to take that to the next level and then, you know, maybe turn professional? And like, did you have a goal like that?
When I was younger, that was my goal. Like I felt like I was as, you know, like as passionate about like basketball as I am about music now. Like when I was younger, I swear I thought I was gonna go straight to the NBA. But I guess it was just, but not even just that. Like it was like when me and my cousin were a little younger too, we were like in the the skateboarding and the rollerblading. It was anything. I felt like I just wanted to be an entertainer somehow. Something, sports, entertainment, music, and whichever way it took me. I just knew I wanted to kind of be in the spotlight somehow.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that kind of resonates on stage because the first time I saw you, because I mean, to be completely honest, I didn't know who you were until I saw you at the Green Elephant. Like you were opening for Ricky Blue, and you weren't the only one that was opening for him, but you were the only one to me that stood out. You know what I'm saying? Like with your stage presence and the way that you were, and when somebody's like high, like you can't really tell. I didn't really know how tall you were for real until you came through the door to sit down, Doug. I was like, oh, okay, he ain't no short dude. Because everybody in hip hop's kind of small, like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when I gave you my card, like after the show, like you were sitting down, so I didn't even have a good idea about your size and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
But no, you were bringing it, like as far as being on the stage goes, like having high energy and engaging with the crowd, and not like that stereotypical. Like you can tell, to me, you can tell like when somebody's watched someone else do a stage performance and you're emulating them, and then when somebody's kind of got their own groove. Like I'm pretty sure that if I watch like 100 performances from you, probably they all gonna be different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's something that I think is really important, man. Like stage presence is something that I think it's a huge staple in what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You got to take it seriously. And I think, like you said, I think that's something I want to pride myself off of. I don't want my shows to be the same, and that I want that to happen for like the rest of my career. I want it to be different. You know what I'm saying? Every night, for making an experience for people coming out.
Yeah, I think that matters a lot, especially like being on the road. Because I mean, I saw Uzi Vert in concert, and I saw his crowd control is crazy. And people would probably put him in the same category as Future, but I don't never want to see him again. Like if I'm just being real,
really?
I'm not a big fan of like I can just go listen to the music. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Unless I'm like this close to you. You
talking about Future?
Yeah, Future.
Yeah.
Stage performance.
I heard that. Yeah.
But to each his own. Like that's just my personal opinion.
I haven't personally seen either one of them, but I mean outside of like clips and stuff. But clips and stuff I've seen. Yeah, Uzi's wild. Yeah.
So how do you like develop that stage presence? Is it something where you just like expressing yourself randomly, or is it something that you've been practicing and growing over time?
More so. I mean, obviously, yeah. Like I said, I went through an artist development program, so I did, pay attention and practice stuff like that. But that's just me being serious about it and just having fun, being passionate about it. But I definitely do. Want to credit the randomness to it. I think that attributes to it being different every time. You know what I'm saying? Like I grew up watching, or I said grew up. I'm only 25, but you know what I mean. Like in my teenage years, in my teenage years though, I was like more like I studied like Jim Morrison and George Clinton. You know what I'm saying? Like all their stage presences, their stage shows was crazy. Jimi Hendrix, you know what I'm saying? Like anybody, man, like just really putting it down. James Brown, putting it down on stage. Like their stage show was a whole separate thing from their recordings to me. So yeah, that was something I really just paid attention to.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that because I feel like most people your age don't even know who the Doors are. You know what I'm saying? Like, so for you to even bring Jim Morrison up, I think is kind of impressive. Like, how did you just grow up in a household that had like where your pops and your mom were playing like that kind of music a lot, or how did you come across that kind of stuff? How were you exposed to it?
The Doors I was exposed to actually by a chick. We just was vibing, bro, and like I've always been into like hippie movements. I've always, you know what I'm saying, other people consider me like a hippie, I guess, before I even knew what that was when I was like a little teenager.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I started looking at it, like, what is it? And then, and I get into it and meet other people, and like it was like a hippie chick I was kind of messing with, dealing with. Not even exclusively or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? And she just kind of introduced me, just kind of passing. And I was like, she actually brought me the movie, The Doors. And it was after she played me a few of their songs, and I was like, this is crazy. Like, what is going on? And and I watched the movie, and I just fell in love with what their whole story and everything they was doing. So yeah. And but as far as like older, like Marvin Gaye and all that type of stuff, that was always around. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, George Clinton, Parliament, all that stuff. Like my mom would just groove in the car, and I would just, man, what are these sounds? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just crazy to me. So yeah, I've always been in like some old school music.
Do you think that they'll like? Would you say that most of your influences are old school rather than maybe in hip hop?
Yeah. I mean, I do have a lot of hip hop influences, like, but mainly for me, hip hop wise, is mostly just like Wiz, Andre 3 Stacks, Currency, Kid Cudi. But those are like staples for me. I mean, outside, you know, like Wayne and Snoop and all like legends. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? For them, those are like hip hop staples for me. But outside of that, yeah, it was mostly just old school and going back and searching Kurt Cobain. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would dabble in the rock and all that stuff. I mean, I just like anything that sound good. You know, I would just dabble into it and then just get lost into it, man.
Yeah. Okay. So you mentioned Currency. I felt like transitioning over to the actual music, like So Uncool 3 came out this year. I feel like it kind of had that classic Currency approach. Like I feel like the modern mixtape, to me, Currency and Wiz kind of pioneered and invented that for all intents and purposes. My personal opinion. And you kind of took an angle of like having some original beats and mixing it with, you know, doing things over other people's beats. Like what was the purpose behind taking that approach? Because a lot of mixtapes now, it's all original music.
Yeah. So Uncool series was based off of just Wayne, like Dedication and stuff like that. Okay. That was classic to me. And I was like, man, I guess that was kind of how I introduced me to the mixtape game. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people say it was Gucci and all that stuff, but when Wayne was taking over, man, that was just, you know what I'm saying, for me. And I was like, just, you know how he was jumping over everybody's beats and just smacking them. And I was like, so when I did my first So Uncool, like, that was my first project I did, my first mixtape I did with the company, the label that I'm with now, Megasonic Music Group. And just something I just kept doing. It was just like a series, you know, kind of like a tradition that I've been doing since then. Okay. But I definitely, this time it's funny, I wanted to do only original songs on this song. And the label actually wanted me to keep it going, like trying to bring it back for the fans. So that's what So Uncool 3 was for. Okay. Yeah.
How did you link up with Megasonic?
Like I said, the friend of my dad, Alex King Solomon, he goes by. He's a producer. Right. And I met up. That was we had my friend and him. My dad and him had a mutual friend, and they linked them up. And like I said, he showed him my music, and he's the one that put me through the artist development program. And they were just a production company at first, and I was just a young kid that they found. And then, you know, we just, like I said, when I was 19, I think we became an official label. Okay. But before that, we were just doing, you know, just making. Alex was just cranking out beats, man, and every week, he just put me through an artist development program, and like I said, that's just how it happened.
Okay. So I noticed that, like, I think three of your projects that I've listened to so far, they all got an elephant on the cover. Like, what's the symbolism behind the elephant?
Elephant, going back to the whole hippie thing that I just resonated in. Elephant, I spell it LFANT. Okay. And the LF stands for live free. And that's just behind my whole message, man. Living free, being yourself, man. Don't be afraid. Like, you know, going back to even what I was saying at the beginning, just being where you from, or don't be afraid to be who you are, because that's what makes everybody individual. And there's too many copycats, and it seems like it's just never ending. Everybody's just following that trend and wanting to be somebody else. And I've always just prided myself out being different. So that's what the elephant. I feel like if you live by, if you can truly say you live free, you know what I'm saying? Like what I'm saying, and you got the shows and you feeling, or you listen to my music and you feeling it, like, yeah, live free. I like that. You can call yourself an elephant. That's what that is.
That's dope. That's dope. So then I wanted to ask you about your name before we kept going with the music. So it's Jae R Tha Geek. We got a lot of the kids, we got the boys, you know, we got the gods in some situation. Like, why did you choose the geek?
It's funny that you say that, because I didn't even pay attention to that until here recently, like about a year ago. I'm not even lying. Like, I didn't even notice that, because I've been the geek since, like I told you, man, since I was rapping out of my room. Yeah, that's just how my friends called me, because back in the day I used to wear, you know, like when the fake glasses came out, you know what I'm saying? When those got popular in the mall, like I always had them on, and I've always been like a computer nerd and video games, and so I've always been like that. Even before this whole anime thing.
Yeah, when that became the fly thing to do.
Yeah, I've always been that guy. So my friends have always called me the geek, and JR is a family nickname. I'm a junior. Okay. So that's always been my name, bro. And like now everybody's the kid, or you know. So I think it's kind of cool that I never even noticed it before. I've been a geek forever. I never changed my name or tried to do anything like that.
I mean, it's unique. There ain't a whole lot of the geeks running around. You know, I've heard the guys. I've heard somebody like Corner Boy or Schoolboy or something like that, or and there's Rich the Kid, a bunch of the kids.
But like the Littles and all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
the Littles. Yeah. So, your first project, Love and Live Life, you released that in 2012. You were young.
Yeah. Fresh out of high school.
Yeah. So what was it like releasing your very first project? Like an actual cohesive project, not just doing Lucy's or something like that, putting a project
that
together.
Was like an amazing feeling. And like it was so long ago, but it felt like it was a stepping stone. Definitely. It definitely showed me that I can do it. You know what I'm saying? Because I had been recording in my room for like 3 years up until then, and friends' houses and stuff like that, and that was like finally officially I'm in the studio every week. We did 40 or 50 songs, and like then we just chose and did the EP, and we just had a bunch I don't even know what happened to the rest of them songs, but yeah, that, and then we put it on iTunes and all that stuff. So doing that was just like, okay, now I can't stop, like I gotta definitely. So I think that was a good learning experience for me.
And you started the So Uncool series that same year in 2012.
Yeah, right after that, I think. Yeah. Yeah.
What made you decide? I mean, I like the title. I think in a way now it's kind of kitschy because everybody tries to portray themselves as somebody who's not like the man. Are just off to themselves. But you were calling yourself that like in 2012. So what made you come up with that title and that name as a project and deciding to make it a series like you did in 2013 and then this latest one in 2018?
It's just going along with what my whole motto and my whole movement, live free and all that stuff. I don't remember if I was saying live free back then. I know I was saying stay lame, which is it was just a live free is an updated version. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to say stay lame anymore. But that's what I was on back then, and it's the same concept, and that's so uncool. It's just that, just being yourself. It was just another way, I guess, to say that. Just, don't. Especially, I can't completely remember how it was back then right now, but I know hip hop was in a different state, and it definitely ain't how it is now, where it's a lot more people being open and all that. But back then it was still, everybody following the whatever. You gotta really fit it or whatever. Yeah, anything like that. So I think that was definitely inspirational.
But I think at the same time, I think there are a lot of people who aren't following. I think like, just to talk about it now, I think rap, and I've said this to other people, I think rap is in the best space that it's probably ever been. That's my personal opinion, because
I was saying that the other day.
The options are so diverse. You can pick somebody way over here in left field like Lil Pump, and you can pick somebody way over on the other side like Wale, and you can pick people who might be in the middle, you know what I'm saying? But I think that there are some people, like followers, like, don't ever die. Like, as long as there's been humanity, there are going to be people who follow trends in order to try to fit in for whatever insecure issues that they have. You know what I'm saying? I think people are just getting louder with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are people who had no desire to get face tattoos until they saw, Tekashi with one. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? People weren't dyeing their hair, painting their fingernails until, they saw somebody doing it. Yeah. So, and I don't think that's an inherently bad thing unless, like, that's something that you already had within you in the first place.
Yeah. I agree with that. I just like, at first I was kind of weird about it, cause like you said, I'm glad that you went back and like you studied my stuff, cause a lot of people just think I'm like, I guess started like 5 minutes ago. Yeah. No. And like, I've been into it, man. Like, like you even said, painting your fingernails. Like, I got fingernail polish chipping now. Like, I've been doing. It's just weird, and it's kind of it's weird, but it's cool at the same time, because there's a lot of people. Like, I just like seeing more. Because at the end of the day, that's my message, man. Like, even if I'm not getting it through to them, I'm glad to see people are just out being themselves and, like, just being crazy and just, you know what I'm saying? Like, quit trying to hide and trying to, oh wait, let me try to be cool, or
Yeah.
claiming I'm from here, you know what I'm saying, type of
Right.
stuff. So I think it's dope, but it is weird too to see just everybody, because like you said, it's a lot of people that are just trying to do it now. But as long as it's always been in them, I agree with what you said. I think it's cool. Yeah, I think it's dope.
I mean, I kind of envy people like yourself in a way, because you're able to express yourself like on whatever terms that you want to. And I mean, because of some of the spheres I have to dip my feet in from time to time.
Yeah.
I can't just present myself the way I like really want to. Like, my hair would be like a bright blue color, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would have black fingernail polish. I probably have a lot more piercings, probably a facial tattoo. But I've always wanted to be like that. But I knew that you know, presentation wise, everybody doesn't understand that kind of stuff.
Exactly, yeah.
So I think it's dope that because you are a creator, a quality creator, that you're able to express yourself the way that you want to on your own terms.
Yeah, definitely.
So what made you go back to the So Uncool series? Because you had left it alone for about, I want to say like 3, 4, maybe 5 years. Like, you dropped the So Uncool in like 2013, maybe 2014, and then you didn't come back to it until this year. So what made you come back to the series?
The label. They want honestly, they wanted me to try to try to bring the tradition back for the fans. I honestly, and I can't put it all on them. I honestly did have some fans that were like, they missed something cool. But like I said, I just was focused on doing straight original music and just putting out. I mean, like, I guess like everybody is now. That's the game. Like you just said earlier, mixtapes are like albums now. So that's what I have been focusing on during all that other time. Putting out my other projects and just trying to build my sound, because like I mean, as anybody knows or that's doing music, it's really hard to try to build your own sound just if you're doing somebody else's beats all the time, man. You can't. I mean, you're gonna try to emulate them in some way possible if that's where you pick that inspiration for that beat, you know what I'm saying, from hearing the original song. You definitely don't copy them or somehow.
It's gonna pollute into your sound somehow.
Yeah.
Like, but my favorite project, like if there was a sequel to something, like my favorite one was Trash.
Yeah, everybody.
Like,
everybody
Acid
likes
Rap
that.
is like my absolute favorite song that you've done.
Appreciate
like, period.
that, man.
You know, so
Appreciate that.
I don't know like what the label, how you feel about that project or what the label has to say about it, but I like that sound for you. Sonically, that's what I like to listen to.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I love that album. Yeah, that was just a good time for me. Yeah, and it was just putting it all down on wax. Yeah, but yeah, it was just in the moment, man.
So one of the things I do like about you though is that you're not opposed to trying different sounds and trying different beats and going for different angles and stuff. What does your writing process look like? How does your creative process look? Like from the moment that you go into the studio to the moment that it's mastered and out.
Most of the time, like, I started writing, you know what I'm saying, from like a very young age, from like 8. I was just writing poems and stories and all that stuff. So I've always jotted stuff down, like in a notepad or in my phone somewhere, and I always just jot down little things. And most of the time, like, I'll hear a beat. I see it's really different for me all the time. Like sometimes I can go off of a beat and like I won't have any any thoughts that anything already written. I'll just go off the beat. But some of the times, like, I got jotted down things and I put them together just based off the beat. It's really all based off of feeling for me, like in the moment. Like sometimes, like, I mean, it's just really different for me, bro. Like, I'll write a song. I don't never really write a song the same way twice. Like, I don't never have like I never. It was kind of irritating to me at first. I never had a thing because people asked me that before, and it's hard for me to answer it. I don't never have like a. I guess some artists will go and like, okay, wait, I get in this mode. Let me go sit in the corner and write down. I ain't never had nothing like that. If it pop up in my head, I'm gonna jot it down, or if I hear a sound or something, I'm like, well, or, anything. Life always inspires me to do something, put down something. So yeah, it's always just been different.
So you like one of those guys that's like always writing?
Always
whether you
writing.
hear a
I've
beat or
always been
not,
like
like
that.
you just like,
Yeah.
oh, I like this line popped in my head.
Yeah.
I heard this one sound.
A few lines will pop in my head by me having a conversation with somebody, or you know what I'm saying, walking by and I hear something. Yeah, anything, man. I've always just jotted down stuff. So that's just been me since a kid. Yeah.
You ever like dealt with writer's block?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. It might have been after So Uncool too, a little bit. I don't remember. It might have been during that time. I don't
So
remember the
yeah,
time.
like I wanted to ask you about that because just based on me looking back and going over your catalog, it was So Uncool, and then Trash didn't release until like 2 years later. So I didn't know if you were on the road or I don't know what was happening in that time, but it was like I couldn't find any music, for those 2 years. So I thought maybe something happened in his life where he had to step back. But it was like 2013 to 2015.
You know what? We had lost our studio, Megasonic. That's what it was.
Okay.
We lost our studio and
the go-to, like the home studio.
I mean, because by then, like I said, I was paying, but I wasn't paying like normal studio price because I was with the team and we were doing artist development stuff. So we lost our studio, man, and like it was. I felt like I was trying to rebuild, and then me and my team, we weren't clicking anymore after that, and like just butting heads and I just like went back and got another job and just was working at like a Chinese food restaurant. And like my friend that I went to high school with, he worked at a pizza shop right next to me, and it was a couple friends. And an older guy, he worked there too, and he showed him my music. I went to school with him too, but he was, like I said, he was older, so we didn't really talk. And then he listened to my music, and he was apparently producing stuff like around the corner in his house, like from his pizza shop in his room. Okay. And then my friend, he was just like, y'all should work together because he liked my raps from my last So Uncool projects a few years back. And I went to his house like around the corner, and we just started banging. Like he was just cranking out beats in his bedroom, and we went in there, and that's when like Trash and all that stuff came to be. Okay. And like the Jae and Silent Nino mixtape and all that stuff. I just got back in the groove, but it was definitely like we lost the studio, and writer's block did have something to do with it. But like I said, I'm sure it came back, and I just went back to jotting stuff down. But I didn't have an outlet. I didn't have anywhere to go record. And so when I met them, we met another guy, David Watson, and we went around the corner again. And he had a studio in his garage, and then I had another place to record, and so that's where we did Trash and all that other stuff. Okay. So yeah, it was just we lost the place to record.
Man, shit happens.
Yeah, and then me and the label kind of fell out before we were a label. And
I would have had an issue with that too.
Yeah, it was a lot of stuff. I mean, and not even just because of that. It was just a bunch of other stuff, and we just weren't seeing eye to eye at the time. And my manager, King Solomon, we just weren't seeing eye to eye. And so I kind of just went off and thought I was Billy Badass and went out by myself, and just like I said, was meeting some friends and was just recording and just doing Trash and stuff like that. But we ended up always linking back up.
Okay. So the newest song you got out is Dojo. I like that song a lot. I like the beat, the flow pattern, super smooth. It sounds different than most of the stuff that you've done previously. So is this sort of like a new angle that you kind of taking? Like, is it going to be a new project? Like, what's going on with Dojo?
It's funny. Dojo Session is actually an older song. It was on the Jae and Silent Nino mixtape that I was doing. I don't know if we put that out before or after Trash, but I did those two projects really like close together. And that song, like I said, I was working with those guys, Casey Slayton and David Watson, and our whole thing about the Jae and Silent Nino project, we wanted to base it off of Jae and Silent Bob, the movie. I mean, Clerks and all that. And then we had a bunch of skits in there, and but we wanted to fill up a whole CD, like to the max, and just put out as much music as we can. So I think it was like 28 songs or something like that. Okay. And that's probably why people don't even know. It was on that tape, and that was 2015 or something like that.
Oh, okay. So this isn't even a new sound for you, really. It's something you've already done.
That's what I'm saying. And then the label, they went back and I guess was just looking for something else while I've been recording recently. And they just stumbled across that song. They were like, "You should put this out. It sounds like," they said it sounded like Migos flow and stuff like that. I didn't really hear that. I
don't agree with that.
But everybody hears different stuff. But that was just an example. They were like, you should put this out. You should put this out. And I was like, we'll put it out. Let's rebrand it and put it back out.
That happens all the time with major labels. Even like, I'm not gonna name the person or the label, but it's a big label. Like it's a major label. And he told me like when I was interviewing him that the same kind of situation happened where he had a song buried deep on a mixtape from like 3 years ago, and they listen to all this stuff and they're like, this is gonna be the single now. So I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. To me, in a way, it's a mark of good quality music.
Yeah.
Because good quality music, to me, in my personal opinion, this is my mark of it. It has staying power.
Yeah.
So it might capture like a time. It might be a time capsule, but otherwise, it's something that like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, like that's a mark of a classic to me. I can still listen to it and it still resonates the same way.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so I know like the way music goes nowadays, like. It'll be 6 months, it'll be a year, and the sound is completely changed. You'll have a producer who can't even get no work no more because the sound is washed.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. Yeah, it's really just fast paced and just ever changing now.
How do you feel about that? Like the way the industry and the scene is and the way the consumers consume music now. You know.
For me, it's I mean, I personally like the days where you can consume, cause I'm an album maker, like I'm a storyteller, down to the root, bro. I like telling stories and putting projects together, and like I said, I was writing poetry and music when I was a kid, so that I feel like there's always gonna be people that are gonna still can consume all that, but the attention spans are a lot shorter nowadays, and it's like. Yeah. Like you said, in a few weeks, it's like this song. They're calling your song old, and it's like
it's only been out a month.
Yeah, what are you talking about? So it's a little different, but especially like when I first started rapping, it's different from when I first started rapping now. But I've adjusted, so it's. I mean, I'm used to it now. But yeah, it was like when that first started happening, like when people's attention spans start really getting smaller, like it was kind of freaking me out at first because I was like, whoa, I just put out a long project and people ain't gonna make it to the end of it. You know what I mean? So, but yeah.
Yeah, I think, man, I kind of call it like ramen noodle rap, only because like that's the way I feel things are. Like a real meal is gonna make you feel full for a while, and you're gonna enjoy the culinary experience and all of that. But I think the way things are now is people would much rather just take that ramen noodle pack, put it in that boiling water for about 4 minutes and eat it, and like I feel full for like maybe 5-10 minutes, maybe an hour, and then I'm hungry again. And because somebody else is putting something out, I'm gonna be able to eat it. Yeah, so the quality overall I don't think is as high. But there are just so many different varying like types of music, food, if you will, that you can go sample. Like, cause it's tough. Like KOD came out this year, and J. Cole gonna be in town in a minute, and I'm like, damn, I forgot that album went out.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's crazy, man. It's just so much music, and it's so much stuff just coming out every day. Like, you get on. I mean, you can just you can get on YouTube like every morning, and there's gonna be some new songs from like last night. Some major artists just dropped it, and it's. I mean, in a way, it's dope. You know what I'm saying? Because it's refreshing. Like every day, you get something new. But like you said, it's just like, whoa. Wait, enjoy this for a second. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
But I think if you curate your audience, your fan base properly, I think that there's a way to do that makes sense. Like that's one of the things I think. J. Cole probably more so than any other artist. Like I'm a fan of his. He's a top 5 rapper to me right now, but I don't know if he is all time. But his audience like is so curated that he can release something with no features, he can release something with no promotion, and because he has this dedicated audience of like between 1.5 million, maybe 2 million people, they're gonna flock to it and they're gonna make sure that he does his numbers. Yeah. And I don't think you can say that about any other artist. Like more popular artists like Drake or Kendrick. Yeah. Like their numbers go up and down because they don't have that same hardcore audience that no matter what this artist puts out, because I trust him quality wise, because he's proven over time that I'm gonna be able to consume his music.
Yeah, like a cult following, man. Like, I think that's important, bro. And that's what I've tried to build. You know what I'm saying, with this LF thing. You know what I'm saying, with the Live Free movement.
Yeah. So you got your shirts and you described it as merch. When I heard you talking to somebody else, it's just merch. So is it gonna turn into a clothing line?
Definitely. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Definitely. That was. That's always been the vision. You know what I'm saying. I want to take it further. Well, let me not say always. That's definitely the vision. Like I want to express myself in that way too. And plus like when I would be selling the merch, people were like, oh, you got some shorts with it, or you got some, you know what I'm saying? They want some more. Yeah. So I was just like, let me try it. And then I think I just got interested in it, and I think I definitely want to bring a line out.
I think there's a lot of potential there, especially like with the elephant being elephant. You know what I'm saying? Like I just think that's a dope concept, and the LF stands for Live Free. Yeah, I mean, So is that something that you just sort of like came up with one day, or was that a collaborative thing, like with the shirts, or was the label like, hey, we need to monetize this?
No. It was all me. It was definitely just me and me. Like I said, people, and cause for me, I don't want to sound cocky or anything, or just like call myself a hippie or anything. But people, they start labeling me as that because I'm just different.
Yeah.
And I guess it's just an old soul, and I like just channeled that into everything I was doing, and I was like, man, I'm free. You know what I'm saying? Like my mom always called me a free spirit since I was young, and I guess that free, the word just kind of stuck with me, and yeah. So I just wanted to make a brand, you know what I'm saying? Make it just watching artists like Wiz and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? I just always watched, and there was more to it than just putting out mixtapes, putting out songs. Like making people, you got to make people want to, you know what I'm saying? Want to listen to your music and want to look at you on the internet every day for some reason. So
yeah, that's somebody, like, to be honest, like the day-to-day series, dog. Like when I don't feel like working or hustling, I go look at that series like on purpose, and it gets me back going.
That's how I was. You know what I'm saying? Just a teenager, like in my room, just on my laptop. I was just, and Wiz, he was one of my favorite artists, so I always watched him. And when he started doing those, I was like, oh yeah, I gotta get out. I gotta go do something. I can't just be in my room watching him. Like I gotta get out. I gotta go to the studio. So yeah, it's just, it make you want to get on your grind. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, cause I think for me, like, one of the things that's dope is that he's been able to document his entire like growth up to this point, and he had the idea to even come up with that in the first place. So back from the Prince of the City days when he was wearing big ass t-shirts, you know what I'm saying, and he was recording day to day on his iPhone like 2, all the way up to now where that stuff is professionally shot, and he's in mansions driving $1 million cars and stuff like that. You can see all of the growth up to that point, and I think when the fans are able to invest in you that way, when they're able to watch you and feel like they're taking along on a journey, that makes them more loyal.
Yeah, definitely. And that's me going through that experience with him, you know what I'm saying? Like being just a genuine fan of Wiz, I was like, that's the blueprint. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I've always based my my brand and everything off of, just stuff like that.
I don't think that's a bad person to follow, because he damn near isn't even a rapper anymore. Like, in a lot of ways, it's like he's just Wiz Khalifa.
Yeah, exactly. He's just become the entity.
So how do you feel about the local scene? Like, you got a lot of guys bubbling locally, and you got guys who I don't even consider them local. I don't know if I ever did, but I'm not from Dallas. But you got guys like can't even think his name anymore, Post Malone. Like, I know he moved to LA and then kind of blew up. Like, but he does like to claim Dallas. You got Yellow Beezy, who's bubbling heavy at least in the region, in the Southeast, and doing tours and stuff. But how do you feel about the local scene?
I love the local scene. Like, it's really dope. It's to me, like, me and my friends, when we had this conversation, we always break it down in like the Facebook local scene here and the Twitter local scene here. It's really it's two different. Like Dallas, like the real, like I think like the core of the city, they're always gonna be on Facebook. And then you got like the hipsters and the weirdos and all that stuff from like the DFW area and all that. They're on the Twitter and everything, and like that. But it's almost like it's two different scenes here, two different local scenes because of that. You know what I'm saying? Because you got like the little clubs, like not even, well, I'm just thinking like the scene, like it's just really different for me. But I think if we could bring everybody to get like both of those separate sides of the scenes together, I think we could be like, for lack of a better example, like Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. Just because we have that here, we have all the talent and all that here, and we got all the vision. I mean, we got just like, you can get on Dallas Twitter, man, and you can see all these artists, all these painters and videographers and photographers. I mean, we're all just out here creative. Like, there's so many creative juices bubbling out here, and then. But like I said, then you got the people who are just in the core of the city. They don't even know about that world, and that's been going on for a few years. Yeah. So I think I think Dallas, if we bridge those two, you know, together, then I think it would be a lot bigger. But I mean, I think it gets better every day. Cause we haven't had a history of like the best local scene. We haven't had like Atlanta and just have a million artists just pop out. So
Yeah.
I think we're in a very good state. We've been in a good state for the past few years. One of the best states we've been in, I feel like the local scene has for the past few years. Like I say since like 2014, 2015, we've been just creating this bubbling. It's making people pay attention. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
I mean, I've said this before. I definitely feel like Atlanta's a one-off. Like the way that entire like ecology like goes, like the way Atlanta is. I think Atlanta has some advantages that probably other cities don't. One, I think the people who were there first that laid the foundations, you know, like the Dungeon families, they were the kind of people who were going to make sure everybody that came after them was going to act right and come together, you know, like, you know, with Goody Mobs and all that kind of stuff, and everybody all the way up to this point, you know, whoever the newest artists are, that everybody, if you're going to be here, you're going to get along, or you're not going to be here. You know what I'm saying? And I think that a lot of other places, whether it's LA, you know, big markets like LA or Miami or New York, don't do that. But I think that Dallas has everything on paper. This is just me, you know, somebody who hasn't even been here like a full, like, you know, year and a half yet. Yeah. Like it has everything you said. Like the money's there, the population is there, like the audience is there, like all the infrastructure to have, like, you know, to be able to bring big people here is there. Like just about everybody. If you have a name worth the damn, you don't come through Dallas, like your tour wasn't shit. Yeah. Like that's my personal opinion. Yeah, for sure. You know, and I see like smaller towns like Houston that are able to, you know, cohesively build something. But I think it's a matter of like, so the other thing with Atlanta, I feel like is Atlanta's able to drain like all the rest of the like talent from other areas. Like before Memphis had a scene, they could pull people from Memphis and Tennessee, from Alabama and Mississippi and you know, upper Florida and stuff like that. Yeah. And I mean, where's Dallas gonna be? I'm pulling from like Oklahoma. You know, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's a little bit different that way, but I think that it's going to take a new wave of artists. I think Post Malone, to be honest, had that potential if he had done it differently to establish something here, because he is the biggest artist, if we're being completely honest, from a number standpoint. He's not the most well received at the same time, but I think just being real.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But I think, you know, let's say Yellow Beezy gets up to the level of like a Uzi Vert or something like that. Not a Drake necessarily, but like just a Vert, like as far as popularity goes. If he lays the infrastructure down properly, Dallas is going to be set for the next 20 years. Yeah. But it's going to take one person willing to give up, you know, that 5-10% of the pie to say, I'm going to invest in these other people and bring them along with me.
I agree with you. I definitely agree. Like, I can't even add to it, bro. Like, this is the conversations that me and my partners be having, man. Like, we just be getting deep into it. Like, what's going on here, man? What can we do? That's definitely something we talk about. I mean, yeah, I agree.
And I mean, to me, like, considering I've only been here, like, lived in the Dallas area for about 18 months, I already find it frustrating. So I can't really even imagine how, like, you know, locals who grew up here feel, man. Yeah. I'm like, man, it's there, it's right there.
It's just there. It's just staring us in the face, and it's just like, we just, like you said, we just got to come together, man. Like, it's just, I don't know. We pull each other down, too. I think. I mean, and you know, every city's gonna do that, but Dallas, I feel like we have a unique trait of doing that. We just like pull each other down. But right now, we are supporting each other, which is cool, which is dope. I like that.
Yeah, I'm seeing people reach out to each other more.
Yeah, but that's dope.
I think it's gonna take, you know, somebody just being more vulnerable. Like Ricky said, like there were much bigger artists than him that didn't want to come to his show because they didn't want to look like a fan. And it's like, but dog, you a way bigger artist than Ricky. Like, just being blunt. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you being there is just showing support. Nobody's gonna be like, man, it's sorry, dude. I can't believe he
fell off or something like that. People just think crazy. Cause I think it's like, go back to what we were saying earlier, just how fast paced everything is. Like, oh, well, if I'm not on the show, then they gonna think I'm not working tonight, or I'm not. I mean, you chilling. We know you're big, bro. Right. Yeah, like, come out and show love. You know what I'm saying? I agree with him. Yeah.
So what does success look like for Jae R Tha Geek? I'm just a big believer that if you don't define it, you can't achieve it. You have to set up what a goal looks like. So
that's I agree. Words are hard for me to put stuff into, I guess.
That's your living though, right now.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Unless I'm just talking about like just talking, you know what I'm saying? Just talking about it is hard. But man, just being happy, being like being able to do what I want to do completely, like my whole motto, live free. You know what I'm saying? Being able to live free completely, where be it you don't gotta wake up for a 9 to 5 or you know what I'm saying, whatever. Just that's success to me. Like, and having every just reaching out to such a being obviously I think everybody wants to be a legend, bro, but I think like success, if you touched I feel like, I guess if you touched a good amount of people to you or whatever, you know what I'm saying, right. The influence, you see that you influence people, like, then that's success to me. You know what I'm saying? If people really received your message or whatever, or my message, that's success to me. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope. Like, it's good that you mentioning that, like, I'm a true believer that everybody's put on this planet and you don't have one specific job. You may have many jobs, but there are things that you're supposed to do before you leave. And sometimes I know a lot of people are like, well, I want to be the man, I want to be the guy scoring 50 points in a game. Yeah. Your job might be to tell that kid that's going to be the future star that one thing that he needs to hear in that classroom, that one time that sets him on that path. Because it could be something that small. It could be something where, somebody who cures cancer was listening to a Jae R record and they were like, I can be a researcher. Yeah.
Definitely, man.
And that's all it takes.
That right there, man. I'd be set, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just something like that. Just touching people and really having them just really receive what I've been trying to put out. You know what I'm saying? And that's successful.
So on that theme, you speak at boys and girls clubs and stuff like that, man. Like, how'd you link up to like be giving get back to the kids?
I think that's important, man. That's just something important, and that keeps. I don't know. That's just something that's just important to me. Like, bringing back where you come from, man. That's all you got. You know what I'm saying? So you got to get back to where you from. And that was out in Fort Worth. That happened. My cousin, he works out there, and he just invited me out there. And he's, how I spoke with some teenagers, and they were just, how everybody thinks nowadays, because you got the little pumps and just how every SoundCloud, how fast everything is, and you got a lot of kids talking about they just, I can do this, I can do that, it's easy. And so he wanted me to really just come out there and just, kind of put it in their head, if this is what you want to do, you got to put some work into it and just talk to them, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of them are just running. He don't want, and they actually had a dope like studio set up out there for the kids. And I don't know who donated it to them, but it was really official, and they had like going kind of similar to what I was going through, like an artist development program, and they really just wanted the kids to take it more serious. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because they can utilize it, you know what I'm saying, every day. And if that was something I had, you know what I'm saying, when I was their age, dude, like, it's crazy. I wouldn't have to put my own money in, you know what I'm saying, scrounging up or trying to go to the studio or recording out my room. Like, they had a professional studio there. So just, you know what I'm saying, telling them, trying to get a hold of them, like, hey, if this is something you kind of dabbling and interested in, you should take it serious. You know what I'm saying? Don't just think, hey, I could put a song out tomorrow and it'll blow up on SoundCloud. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
so that is like kind of one thing I don't like about like the current generation of music consumers. You know what I'm saying? I know back in the day, like, you were referencing guys like Snoop and Andre 3000. People knew back then, if you were a rapper, even if you just said you were one, you had a project out, even if it wasn't like, selling 1 million copies. Yeah. This dude is official. He worked his ass off to get there. Now, because of the level of accessibility, people are like, oh, I can just rip a beat off the internet. I can rap over it, using, my cell phone. I can put it together and I can put it out, and then I'm going to be a star. And people don't realize that it's harder now to get on and to get your records and to cut through all the crap and, like, dealing with boardrooms and label execs than it's ever been to be an artist. Exactly. So you see somebody like Tekashi and it's like, oh, but his first tape did all these numbers and all of his songs have charted. You don't know how much stuff, like, unless you're like in the industry already, how much stuff was really required to get him there. It wasn't, oh, I'm just gonna make an album real quick and just put it on SoundCloud. Magically, everybody's gonna show up. It's rarely that simple, and that's what he wanted me to just, you know what I'm saying, kind of convey. Yeah. And
to the teenagers. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause it's rarely just that.
It
Black and
almost
white.
never works that way. And and usually if it looks like that, that dude probably put out 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mixtapes, and he signed with a label and they said take them all down. We're starting over.
Yeah.
That's what really happened.
Yeah. So, I know. I mean,
I'm preaching to the choir.
that's how it goes, and it doesn't. I mean, it's just business, rebranding and all that.
Yeah. But that is one thing that I do like about just about everybody that I've interviewed from the Dallas area. Every single one of them is giving back in some way or form. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's talking to these kids out here. Everybody's doing some sort of volunteer effort. Everybody's trying to clean their neighborhood up.
Yeah.
And I think that's really dope because I've interviewed probably 30, 40 artists to date now, and it's consistent here that people are talking about doing that and bringing that kind of stuff and trying to reinvest back into their neighborhood.
Yeah, man. I don't know if it's just like a Dallas thing or a Texas thing or just anything, but I know, like you said, it's consistent here. I know it's important to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is our home, so we definitely got to take care of it. And we I guess that's just kind of instilled in people from here, like in the DFW area. It's just like this where, and that might be why people are so prominent about what they claim and you know what I'm saying, stuff, because we take it to heart here. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, this is where you from. This is all you got. You know, and you don't ever want to forget where you came from and just run off and get big and have anybody here thinking that you forgot about them. So I think that's something that's just instilled in us from when we were kids here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's just something that's important to all of us.
Okay. So do you have another project or something that's coming out like this year? Like, is it going to be a pay for? Are we going to find it on like live mixtapes or that pay for something?
The goal is to put it out in December. The album Tea and Cigarettes.
Okay.
Actually, that's something else that was dug up from the vaults. Like we did that album. I don't even remember how. It was a long time ago, but it's something that just kept coming back to all of us, and we were just like, you know what? We never got a chance to put this out, and like, it was a full, complete project. So it's something that I think is just definitely important. And it stood the test of time to anybody that we've ever played it to. So it's like, I mean, it's definitely been touched up and added some stuff here, but yeah, it was just something that the original idea of it, Tea and Cigarettes, it was just something that always stuck with us. So that's the next project, and it's scheduled for December right now.
Is it done?
Yeah, it's completely finished. It's just we got to touch it up, get it. It was getting remastered and everything like that. Just, you know what I'm saying, to make it sound how it's supposed to sound. Even a few years can make it sound a little outdated, man. So yeah, we just touching everything up.
Yeah, I'd love to listen to that maybe off air. Maybe you could come back, do a listener companion with us where we go through every single song and you can chart through us
most
what
definitely,
you're talking about.
I would love that. Yeah.
So is there anything else that you looking to do, any shows or anything like that that's coming up anytime soon?
Right now I don't have anything scheduled. Well, set in stone.
Yeah,
there's stuff been, you know what I'm saying, we're talking about we're gonna do a lot of other shows and stuff coming up, but like I said, I don't even like to speak on stuff like that until it happens.
Smart. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Tell the ink dry. I wouldn't talk about it.
But it's a lot. It's always stuff going on with me. That's something that I think if you're a true fan of Jae R Tha Geek, you always know. Cause like even how you started off, you was like, you're not 40, but you've been rapping for a long time. Yeah. So it's like people know who I am, and I've been out here. I'm always working, but you know what I'm saying, it's just all about getting it right. You know what I'm saying? And I think we're on a good wave right now. But yeah, definitely. We always got something coming. So I'm definitely. I got like I said, Tea and Cigarettes is done, but I've been working on something new, and I don't even want to, you know what I'm saying, just Tea and Cigarettes, December, and more singles to come for sure, definitely soon. And right now, actually, before I even just say all that, we got a new single, Wings, about to drop.
Okay.
So look out for that. Wings is coming out really soon, and and Tea and Cigarettes in December, man.
I like that title. Like, that makes me curious about like how it's gonna sound.
Wings. It's
no, I meant Tea.
Oh, Tea and Cigarettes. Yeah, man. Yeah.
I got an aunt. Like, Tea and Cigarettes made me just think of her.
Yeah.
Like, no disrespect to anything that.
Yeah. That, man, like, that's anything about me, man, it's up for interpretation.
Yeah.
So that's the reason I leave, you know what I'm saying, innuendos like that. So yeah.
So any clues about the new single, Wings? I didn't mean to derail that.
Wings, I think, honestly, I think it's gonna be like one of my biggest songs that I've done.
Yeah.
And you just heard me say I don't even like to speak on stuff until it's out, but that's how I feel about that song. So
you got visual shot for it?
Not yet. That's next.
Coming.
Yeah, we definitely shooting something for that. So yeah.
Anything else you want to say to the people?
Man, just make sure you following me on everything, man. SoundCloud, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. It's all at Jae R Tha Geek. And Spotify, man. Everything, man. You know what I'm saying? iTunes. We everywhere. So just make sure you following us and stay rocking with us, man.
Okay. Man, appreciate your time, man. It's Troublemaker for the Artist Spotlight, man. We out.